So silver just went over $100 an ounce, and gold is basically at $5,000 an ounce. In today's video, I want to talk about why gold and silver is up so much, and honestly why they can both keep on going up until these two things change. I also want to talk about whether or not AI is still a good play in 2026, from my personal opinion, right? Because unless you've been invested in memory chip companies like Micron, or you've been investing in manufacturing companies like TSMC, it hasn't been the best year for you, or really hasn't been the best couple of months. So my Nvidia position is doing pretty good. My AVGO/Broadcom position is down quite a good bit. So I value your time. With that being said, let's talk about it. So why is gold and silver going up so much? There's two simple reasons why this is happening, right? Reason number one is because the US dollar is losing global strength. And reason number two is because of all the uncertainty that's been created economically and from a geopolitical standpoint within the past year, or really since Trump has become president of the United States. So we go back to the beginning of last year. Trump started threatening a bunch of countries with these crazy ass tariffs. And that's around the first time we saw gold have a massive spike. And that's primarily because a lot of investors were looking to park their money into something safer. In that situation, gold would be the safer asset. On top of this, a lot of countries started retaliating by not buying our government bonds and primarily starting to buy more gold as their potential future reserve. And closer to the end of 2025, we saw the biggest government shutdown that we've ever seen. And since then, right, a lot of investors aren't believing the economical data that the government's releasing, right? A lot of people believing that these things are being tampered with, which also causes a lot more uncertainty. So basically, there's been a lot of uncertainty since Trump has become president of the United States, and the US dollar has been losing its global strength. So when you mix those two things together, uncertainty and the US dollar losing its value, it means that gold and silver are going to go up, right? Gold started going up a lot more than silver eventually started catching up. So until those two things change, gold and silver could potentially just keep on going up. So does this mean that you should throw in every single dollar that you have into buying gold and silver? Absolutely not, right? Because at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. Gold and silver could have some type of correction, right? 10, 15%, who knows? But all I'm saying is that nothing has changed so far, right? Trump is still threatening countries with a bunch of tariffs. On top of this, the US dollar is still losing global value, right? So unless those two things change, gold and silver, even though they could have some type of correction in the future, they will keep on trending up. Something has to change, and so far, nothing has changed. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. Basically, Trump is still going to be our president for the next 3 years, which means that there can still potentially be a lot of uncertainty for the next 3 years. So unless somebody takes away his Twitter account so you can't keep on threatening countries with these crazy ass tariffs, right, expect to see a lot of uncertainty, which means that who knows how high gold and silver can really go, right? Once again, this is not financial advice. Make sure you do your due diligence and make sure it makes sense to you. And don't ever put in money that you're not willing to lose. But until something changes, gold and silver will probably not have this crazy correction that everybody thinks is going to happen sometime soon. So now let's talk about my opinion on whether or not AI is still going to be a good play in 2026. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, unless you've been invested in a memory chip company like Micron or a manufacturing chip company like TSMC, it's been a really weird couple of months for you for other AI related plays. So let's take a look at the charts and see what I'm talking about. All right, so taking a look at the chart, like I said, unless you've been investing in a company like Micron, which had amazing earnings support and has seen this massive run up because of the shortage of memory chips that's being caused by AI, right? The stock is up I think it's up like 50% plus since that previous earnings support. So unless you've been investing in that company, or TSMC is another good example, right? Had amazing earnings support. It had a pretty good run up since like December of last year, right? So unless you've been invested in those two AI related companies, you've basically been investing in dead money. And what I mean by this is, let's look at AVGO, right? Broadcom. This stock has basically been dead money since September, right? We take a look at Nvidia. Same thing, right? Basically been dead money since, this goes all the way back to damn near July and August, right? Another example, look at Microsoft. Basically been dead money since August, right? And keep on going. Look at Palantir. Basically been dead money since August, right? The list goes on and on and on. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a similar trend going on with all these companies, and the fact that they're basically just been going sideways or slowly trending down the past couple of months, right? And I believe the main reason why this is happening is because a lot of the money in the market has been going towards buying gold and silver, right? So as you guys can see, gold and silver are one of the few assets that's actually had a really good couple of months and haven't been stagnant, right? Sort of like how these other stocks have been. in the past couple of months, right? So we take a look at gold. It's the same thing. So basically, do I think that AI is still a good play in 2026? Me personally, 100%. And the reason why I say that is because the fundamental financials has not changed. All these companies that have been trending sideways or even going downwards in the past couple of months, nothing has changed from the fundamental financials, right? All these companies had a double beat on their earnings and raised their guidance. They did everything right. But I feel like the market just needs more confidence in order for these stocks to go up. And this is what I mean by what I'm saying. So we take a look at TSM one more time, right? The stock was having a massive, was going sideways, right, and had a pretty good pullback. But as it got closer to its earnings support, the stock started to have a pretty good run up. They had a good earnings support, right, and the stock went up even more, right? And I believe that a common trend is going to happen with a lot of these other companies, right? It's almost like the market just needs more confidence for these stocks to go up. So yes, as much as it sucks, right, these companies can keep on going sideways or potentially even keep on trending down until that next catalyst, which is their earnings support. So in the case of AVGO, I had no idea that this stock was going to crash basically over 25% after having the amazing earnings support that it had. And on top of this, right, the stock could keep on going down until that next earnings support. But I believe that nothing has changed. There's still a high demand for AI. We saw that through the earnings from Micron and TSMC, right? It's just going to take a little bit of time for things to play out. And we're seeing the same thing happen if we look at a company like Microsoft, right? Microsoft had an amazing earnings support, double B, raised guidance, did everything right. But the stock came down like damn near over 20%, right? So now as we get closer to Microsoft earnings support, the stock is starting to slowly go back up. And they're probably going to have a double B and raise guidance, and the stock will probably have some type of good comeback, right? So what I'm concluding to is that you just got to be patient, right? This is just the market condition that we're in. Companies that are having great earnings support, right? Double B's, rating guidance are still going sideways. And the market just needs more confidence for things to go up. And this is why I can't stress this enough. I always tell y'all to give yourself time for things to play out, right? If you bought short-dated options in this choppy market, you probably lost a lot of money, right? But if you bought something like Leaps, right, pushing out as far as possible to give you a lot of time for things to play out, right, you would have been somewhat okay, right? Because you can't predict what's going to happen, you know, after you buy into your trade. You don't know what the market's going to do, how, you know, irrational the market is going to act, right? So when you give yourself time for things to play out, you can kind of weather through the storm and get through those tough moments where things are just going sideways or going downward. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. Basically, I still believe that AI is a really good play in 2026, which is why I still have a lot of money betting AI-related companies for 2026. It's just been unfortunate how the market has been acting the past couple of months with everything just going sideways or even trending downwards. But once again, you can't fight the market. The market's going to do whatever it wants to do. And we're in a situation where things are probably going to keep on going down or sideways until the next earnings. And we're in a situation where things are probably going to keep on going down or sideways until the next big catalyst, which are these companies' earnings support. So it is what it is. Just got to be patient and let time do its thing and let things play out. Let me know what other companies you guys are looking forward to getting into. Let me know if you learned anything new in the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.